Alrighty then. So let's start off on our backs. And so as you lay down, whatever position with the arms and the legs feels good in your body. And once you found that comfortable position, if there's anything touching you, feel free to just slide it off to the side. And then we'll allow the eyes to gently close, tuning in to what's happening around us. So listening to the sounds, maybe it's of the birds or of the traffic in the distance, whatever is happening in your space. Acknowledging the smells that you can point out around you. Even noticing how the temperature feels against your skin, noticing either the breeze, or if you're at home, feeling the AC or whatever you feel, just notice getting in tune with all of those senses. And then from the external the senses, we start to notice the backside of our bodies and all those points of contact between your body and the mat or on the ground beneath you. And then we start to tune into the body, scanning from the top of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet. Just noticing, how does your body feel this morning? Not only acknowledging the muscles and the joints, but also noticing what we feel in our heads and in our belly. This connection with our bodies from the very beginning of practice allows us to tune in so that we notice, what do we need in our bodies? As a teacher, I offer you different postures, I offer you variations, but ultimately it's on us to take what we need, take what feels good, and then leave what doesn't for another day. From the body, we start to tune into the breath, noticing how fast or slow, how deep or shallow each breath we take flows. From the breath, we can start to tune in, noticing the heart rate. Can you feel the heart beating in your chest? Maybe even pointing out any parts of your body where you can feel the pulse, whether it be in your head, your limbs, in your belly. And if you have found the heartbeat, start to notice that connection with the breath. So as we inhale deep, we feel the heart rate increase slightly. And as we take a long exhalation, notice that heart rate come back down. Rarely is the heart ever steady. It naturally fluctuates, not only with our breathing pattern, but also based off of what's happening in our minds. So speaking of the mind, we start to tune in, noticing, how do we feel mentally in this moment? Acknowledging what we're bringing onto our mats this morning. Asking ourselves, how do we feel emotionally to start off our day? And then all together, we'll start to take 3 nice deep breaths. So start by pressing all the air out of your lungs. And then we inhale deeply to fill up the belly, fill up the chest, holding at the top. And exhale, sigh it all out. Twice more like that. Nice deep inhalation, filling up the lungs, holding it in. And exhale, letting it all go. Last time, biggest breath you've taken so far today, holding it at the very top while relaxing our bodies for 3, 2, 1, and exhale, letting it all go. Yeah, keeping those nice deep breaths in and out of our nose. As we begin to move into the physical part of our practice, we start to bring movement back into our fingers and toes, circling through the wrists and the ankles. And on our inhale, reach the arms and legs nice and long for a big stretch. Exhaling the knees into the chest, giving them a little hug, maybe gently rocking from side to side if that feels good on your body. Also using this as an opportunity to become acquainted with the slope that you're on. And as we place those feet back onto the mat, we open the arms out into a T. Let's scoot the hips over to the right side of your mat, letting the knees fall to the left for reclined twist. If you'd like, you can even turn your head over towards that right arm. But then relax those inner thighs, softening your glutes, letting the shoulders be heavy. What do you feel in your hips and your back? And on your next inhalation, we'll bring those knees back through center, scooting the hips over to the left, letting the knees fall to the right, taking our twist on this side. Again, you can turn your hand towards that left arm if that feels good. Two more breaths here. And on your inhale, we come back into center, giving those knees a little hug. And then we'll release the soles of the feet down into the ground. And so let's extend the arms down by our sides. And we'll start to lift the head up, lift those shoulders like you're finding a little crunch, engaging your abs, pressing your low back down into the ground. And I want you to firm up your belly as though I'm about to take my 185-pound self and come and stand on your stomach. Now keep that in your mind as we bring the right knee into the chest. The left leg goes out long, letting that heel hover above the ground. And then switching legs, interlacing those fingers on the left knee as the right leg is long. Yeah, now continue alternating just like that, slow and controlled. The entire time trying to keep that tension in our abs, pressing the low back down into the ground. One of the big things about back bends is that oftentimes we focus so much on the bending back that we lose the tension in the front. So we're just building up a little bit of heat there. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. Go ahead and take one more each side. And those knees come back into the chest. Once you're ready, we can start to rock forward and back along the length of the spine. Eventually, making our way to all fours, finding ourselves on our hands and knees. right, once you're in your tabletop, we'll find a few rounds of our cat and cow poses. So start by stacking the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. And on our inhale, we drop the belly, lifting the chest forward. Exhale, hollow out the belly, rounding the chin in. Get it twice more like that. Inhaling into our cow. Exhaling cat. Last time, inhaling into your cow. Exhaling cat. And as we find our neutral spine, let's come all the way down onto our bellies now. All right. There we go. See if I can find a little bit better. There we go. Once you're on your bellies, tops of the feet are on the mat. And as we inhale, lift our chest into cobra. And exhale down. Yeah, once more. Inhale, lift, pull those shoulders out of the ears. And exhale, lower down. All right. Now, if you want to, you can make a little pillow with your hands. We're going to start to bend into that right knee. And then lift your right foot up to the sky, squeezing that right glute. Lower it down. Other side, bend into the left knee. Lift it up, press those hips into the mat. And then down. One more time each side. Bend into the right and lift. And switching sides. Left knee bends and lifts. And down. Making our way onto all fours once again. This time we're going to add on a little bit. All right, so extending the right leg and your left fingertips out nice and long. We take a deep inhalation here, finding that balance, and on the exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach out long. Now start to bend into the back knee. Turn your left thumb down as we reach our fingers back for the heel without touching it. Inhale, reach out long. Exhaling, knee to elbow. We reach long, bend and reach back, finding a little back bend. One more time, extend and compress. Extending, reach back for our back bend. Yeah, go ahead and reach out long and lower it down. Feeling free to take whatever movements you need. And we'll take that on the other side. So left leg, right arm, fine, reach out long, pause for a moment. Press all those knuckles in the left hand down into the mat. And on your next exhale, knee to elbow. Inhaling, reach. Exhale, reach back for the back bend. Inhaling long. Exhale, firm up those abs, curling in. Extending. And reach back. I think that was two. One more time. Reach out long. And compress. Extending out. And reach back. As we find ourselves back on tabletop, let's walk those feet back, finding a plank pose and pausing here. Yeah, so fingers, again, knuckles are pressing down into the mat. Spread those shoulder blades wide, trying to round your upper back slightly, firming up your glutes and thighs. And then downward dog. All right, we'll be here for about 8 breaths, so feel free to take whatever movements feel good for you. Maybe that's bending one knee into the other or shifting your hips side to side. All right, now we start to pause in our downward dog. Now I want you to imagine externally rotating your arms. So try to point the pits of your elbows straight to the front of your mat. Shoulders are right by your ears. Last breath here. And then we start to walk the feet all the way to the front of the mat. Bending the knees as much as we need to, finding a forward fold. Yeah, bend those knees as much as you'd like. And if you want to, gently swaying from side to side. And then with a nice deep bend in the knees, we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to stand. All right, once you're ready, we inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Let's take that left arm by our side, reaching over to the left. Inhaling up. Exhaling over to the right. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift, finding a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Deep bend in the knees, we roll all the way up to stand, reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhaling, hands through the heart. And release. Adding on, inhale, reaching tall. And exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway, lift flat back. On the exhale, hands come down. Let's step that right foot way back into a lunge. Stepping far enough back so we can get that left heel firmly down on the ground. And let's lower the back knee down onto the mat, untucking the toes. Taking a nice deep inhale in our low lunge, and on your exhale, shift the hips back, straightening the front leg. Twice more, inhale, bend into our lunge. Exhale, straighten. Last time, we lunge and straighten. Yeah, go ahead and bend into that front knee. Pausing here. Now that back knee, we're gonna start to lift that, right heel up and down. So still a little hamstring curl back here. But keep your glutes tight as we lift and lower for 5, 4, 3, 2. Step that foot back, lift the knee up as we find our plank pose. Nice firm engagement here, and then shift your shoulders forward of the wrist. Lower the knees down, lower halfway down into our chaturanga. And all the way to the mat. Inhale, we lift our chest into cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Finding that on the other side. Inhaling the right leg to the sky. Exhale, stepping in between the hands. And then the back knee comes down, finding our low lunge. And notice what's happening in those hips. Taking a nice deep inhale. On your exhale, straighten the legs, shift the hips back. Twice more. Inhale, bending into our lunge. Exhale, straightening. Last time, bend and straighten. All right, bend into that knee, find our low lunge. And we'll begin to bend into that back knee. Pull the heel in and down. And noticing that engagement on the back side of your thigh. And from there, lift that back knee up, stepping to the front of your mat. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhaling, hands through the heart. And release. Had a hard time hearing back there? All right, got you. All right. From here, we inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat. We step the left foot back now. Pausing here. Keep that back knee lifted this time. We're going to plant that left hand down, and if you can, reach the right arm up to the sky for our revolve, for our twist. But keep the back leg nice and straight. Sink those hips down a little bit deeper. And on the exhale, hand comes to the mat, stepping back into our plank, pausing in our plank. These are plank leg lifts, so firm up your glutes, firm up your thighs. We're going to lift up our right toes, point back and down. Lift up the left toes, point and down. Keep going just like that. There we go. This is all about core stability, shoulder stability, and of course, glute engagement. Next time, both feet on the ground, we shift forward, lower the knees down, lower halfway down, chaturanga, releasing to the mat. Arms come back by our sides this time. As we inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Twice more like that. Inhaling, lift. And lower. Then lift up, hold here. Hug those ankles together for 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Hands come by our rib cage as we press up through our plank into downward dog. If I ever say something that sounds like, oh yeah, just push up. Do it however feels right for your body. We lift that left leg all the way up and back. And exhale, step it between the hands. Finding our lunge, keeping that back knee lifted this time. Once you have that that left heel down, the right hand comes to the mat, float the left fingertip to the sky. There we go. Keep that back leg nice and straight. Maybe the hips sink a little bit deeper. One more breath. Hands come down to the mat and stepping all the way to the front of your mat. Inhaling, halfway lift whenever you arrive. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way to the sky. Exhaling, hands through the heart. All right, so we take our feet about hip distance apart. Even if you set your chair pose closer, for this first one, let's go a little bit further. All right, once you're there, let's inhale the arms to the sky. Bring them to the small of your back, interlacing the fingers. Inhale, open your chest up. Exhale, bend those knees and forward fold, letting the hands float over your shoulders. If that doesn't work, you can let your arms rest on your back. Just trying to find a little opening on the front side of those shoulders. Now start to bend the knees deeply. Reach the arms forward and up, finding our chair pose. Now squeeze those glutes. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. You firm up your belly like somebody's about to come and poke you in your stomach, like no. And on your exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling, hands to the mat, step or hop the feet back, finding your chaturanga. Inhaling into your cobra or upward facing dog. Lifting the hips up and back, down dog. From our downward dog, we'll float the right leg up to the sky. And exhale, step it between the hands, warrior one. So the left heel comes down into the ground. Square those hips forward, reaching his arms straight up to the sky. Now can we bend a little bit deeper into that front knee? Imagine tucking your tailbone under, trying to point it straight down to the ground. One more breath. And exhaling, hands down to the mat. Stepping back into your plank. You can go straight to your down dog if you like, or take the chaturanga into your back bend and then meeting our down dog. The option is always yours. Other side, inhale on the left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between the hands, warrior one. There we go. So lower that back heel down into the ground. Letting those right toes slightly angle out. Okay, now you can widen your stance even more. Step your front foot forward. There we go. All right. As we extend those arms up, last thing I'll talk about, if those back toes are pointing to the side of your mat, then your hips will follow. So turn them slightly forward so that our hips can go straight forward. Yeah, last breath. Exhaling, hands down to the mat. Stepping back into your plank. Yeah, taking that chaturanga. Inhaling through your back bend, and we'll all meet in downward dog. From down dog, we bend the knees, look between the hands. Exhale, step or hop to the front. Inhaling, halfway lift once you've arrived. Exhaling, forward fold. Start to bend into those knees, reaching the arms forward and up, chair pose. Yeah, coming all the way up to stand and releasing the arms. We're not done with it yet. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. Interlace the fingers behind our back. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the hands down. Bend deep into the knees, reach the arms up for our chair pose. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, step or hop the feet back. Find that chaturanga, hug the elbows to your ribs, and then inhale into our back bend. Exhaling, downward dog. From our downward dog, we float the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step in between the hands, finding our warrior one. There we go. Glide that left hip back. Keep that back leg nice and straight. And now we're gonna play with this a little bit. So from the hips down, nothing changes. Start to bend into the elbows. Bring the hands to the small of your back. Palms touching, and then reach them all the way back up. Two more like that. Bend the elbows, reach the hands to the back. Reach them all the way up. Last time, back and up. Nice deep inhale. The exhale takes our hands to the mat, stepping back, flowing through your chaturanga and back bend, meeting in downward dog. Focusing on those nice long breaths. And then on the inhale, we'll float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, stepping in between the hands, warrior one. There we go. Now, I should have gotten your names. For both of you two, that back toes, try to point them even further forward. So rotate. Yeah, right now our toes are pointing at 3. We want them to point at about at whatever number that is. All right, once you're there, hands come behind the back. Yeah, this time if you can, when they come to the back, maybe they don't touch the back. They touch each other. So again, inhale the arms up. Exhale them back. Last time, up and back. Hands come all the way up to the sky, down to the mat as we step back into our plank. Option for the chaturanga, into your back bend. Exhaling, downward dog. From downward dog, we bend the knees, look between the hands. Exhale, step or hop forward. Inhaling, halfway lift once you've arrived. Exhaling, forward fold. Sitting the hips into our chair, reach the arms forward and up. Coming all the way up to stand and release the arms. Starting to play with our balance a little bit. Let's lift up our right heel. If you don't, go ahead and grab onto that right heel with your hand. All right, once you have it there, finding a quad stretch, press your hips forward, trying to point that knee straight down to the ground. Standing up as tall and proud as you can. Now we're gonna let go of the foot, but hold that ankle in for 3, 2, 1, let it go. Anybody else feel a little tightness in the back of the hamstrings? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay. Other side, grab that left ankle. And again, press the hips forward, point the knees straight down. And standing up as tall and proud as you can. And then let it go. Hold the ankle in as close as you can for 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. Okay. Now, hands come onto the hips. We sit the hips down and back into our chair pose. Holding our chair as we bend into that right knee, lift the ankle up. And take a nice deep inhale. As we exhale, lean your chest forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lean forward. Last time, lift and lower. Now step that right foot all the way back into a lunge. Reach those arms up to the sky. Yeah, so now the back heel stays lifted off the ground. Nice deep inhalations here. On the exhale, open arm, twist to the left. Inhaling to the sky. Exhaling left. Last time, up. And twist. All right, reaching those arms straight up to the sky. We start to lean forward, reach the arms back. Yeah, inhale, reach them all the way up to the sky. And this time, as we lean forward, take the weight into the front leg, lift the back leg up into our warrior three. Keep that lifted leg firm. Keep the belly engaged for one more breath. Lifting the knee up, reach the arm to the sky. Fighting chair pose. All right, other side, hand comes to the hip, bending into that left knee. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, leaning forward. Inhaling up and forward. I know we are taxing that balance. One more time. Up. Lean forward, firm up the belly as we step all the way back. Arms extend to the sky. Now that back heel, sometimes it wants to collapse in. If it collapses in, we lose the strength. So kick that heel out slightly. Firm up those hips. And then on our exhale, we twist right. Inhaling to the sky. Exhale, twist. Last time, up. And twist. Reaching the arms straight up to the sky. On our exhale, lean forward, reach the arms back. One more like that, inhaling up. Exhale, lean forward, take our warrior three. Yeah, trying our best to square the hips to the mat. If you really need to, you can bend into that standing leg slightly, but it's gonna be more in your glutes. You lift the knee, reach those arms all the way to the sky. Sitting down into our chair pose. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, separate, hop the feet back. Lowering through your chaturanga. Inhaling in through your back bend. We'll meet in our downward dog, holding here for 5 breaths. If you'd like to take a child's pose, you are more than welcome and highly encouraged. Do what feels right. Yeah, deep inhalations, long exhalations. And then we ask ourselves, where's my mind right now? What am I thinking about? There's so many things going on in the world that I want for this remaining hour to keep our focus right here on your mat in this space. If you're in child's pose, let's start to find our downward dog. And from our downward dog, we'll float the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, stepping it between the hands, high lunge. Yeah, we are already familiar with this one. So we talked about it earlier, trying to lift your hip point, trying to tuck your tailbone under, feeling that release on your left hip flexor. Now turn our palms forward. And as we exhale, bend into the elbows, open the chest into a back bend. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, pull those shoulders back. Last time, up and pull. Reach the arms all the way up. On our exhale, the hands come down onto the inside of the right foot though. Now you have the option, either step the foot back and step the left foot forward, or jump and switch. Option's yours. Yeah. And once you figured out which one works for you, let's do it again. Right foot forward. All right, and then one more time, just for good measure. Once your left foot is forward, reach those arms all the way up to the sky. And then you're like, but Ed, this isn't flex and stretch. Yes, I know. There we go. Tuck that tailbone under, firm abs. And on our exhale, bend the elbows, open the chest. Inhaling up. Exhale, lower, press the shoulder blades into the back. Last time, up and pull. Reaching all the way up to the sky. Hands come down to the mat as we step back into our plank. Lowering through chaturanga. Inhaling into our back bend. Exhale, meeting in down dog. And from our downward dog, let's shift forward into our plank. We're gonna take 8 counts to make our way all the way down into our bellies. So nice and slow, ready? We lower down for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1, and all right, all the way down. All right, let's reach those arms back by our sides, but this time we're interlace the fingers on our lower back again. Tops of the feet are on the mat. And as we inhale, lift the chest, lift your legs, pressing the knuckles back. And exhale down. All right, so we're gonna do one more time, holding it this time. So lift up, pressing those knuckles back. Think about pressing your pubic bone at the base of your hips down into the mat. Hug the ankles for one more breath. And exhale, lower. You can let go of the hands. Feel free to wiggle the hips out if that feels good. But don't worry, we're not done yet. All right, so while we're on the mat, let's bring our forearms down now. The forearms are parallel to one another, palms are flat on the ground. Yeah, keep those toes tucked under. We're finding a sphinx pose. So press that pubic bone into the mat. Imagine pulling your chest through, making a nice long curve in the spine. And then tops of the feet down onto the mat. We pull those shoulders not only down away from the ears, but also back to open up the front of the chest. I keep tucking my toes under because I'm cramping a little bit, that's all. Don't do what I do, just do what I say, right? All right, now go ahead and tuck your toes under. Straighten those legs. We're gonna start to hollow out the belly, lift those hips up into a forearm plank. Straight legs, firm thighs, firm glutes, tight abs. One more breath here. Lower the knees down, lower the hips down, find our sphinx pose one more time. Tops of the feet on the mat, pull the chest through. Tuck those toes under, straighten the legs, hollow out the belly, find that nice straight line from head to heels. And then however you can, downward facing dog. From your downward dog, we bend the knees, look between the hands, exhale, step or hop to the front. Inhaling, halfway lift once you've arrived. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way to the sky. Exhaling, hands to the heart, and release. Okay, so we're gonna find 2 rounds of dancer's pose. We'll take the first one now. What is our dancer? Start to bend into the right knee, and we'll grab the outside of the right ankle. So our right thumb is pointing towards our knee. All right, now, if you got a big back bend already, hug those abs in, knit them together like a corset. Left arm to the sky. Now we start to kick the foot into the hand, lifting it up a little bit higher. Yeah. Only dipping our chest as far forward as we need to get the leg a little bit higher. Now if your arm's off to the side, bring it to the center, taking our last 2 breaths here. Carefully coming all the way back up and letting it go. All right, other side. Bending into that left knee now, grabbing hold. And we stand up nice and tall, press those hips forward just like we did earlier as we reach the right arm up. Start to kick the left foot into the hand, lifting it knee a little bit higher. Really trying to keep those abs firm. How much can you squeeze your core muscles for one more breath? Coming all the way up to stand and let it go. I am a huge proponent of just shaking it out. It's kind of a reset for our nervous system. You don't have to, but if you see me randomly doing it, that's fine. All right, from the top of our mats, we inhale the arms to the sky and exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, separate hop back, finding your chaturanga. Inhaling through your back bend. Exhaling, downward dog. From our down dog, we'll float the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward between our hands. High lunge, reach those arms all the way up. From here, start to bend those elbows, open the chest, and then bring the hands all the way to the back. Reaching them all the way up. Keep the arms extended if you can as we lean forward, trying to touch me. Lift the back leg up. Warrior 3. From our Warrior 3, bring the hands onto the hips. Bend into that left knee. We're in our one-legged chair pose. Lean forward. Lift the chest. Yeah, now we're going to grab hold of that left ankle as we come all the way up to stand. If you want, you can grab the inside of the ankle if your shoulder's a little bit more open. Reaching the right arm up to the sky. Finding our dancers once more. Find something that's not moving to focus on. Gently coming all the way back up. Lift the knee. Sitting down into our chair pose. Nice deep inhale. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, hands to the mat, separate, hop the feet back. Lowering through your chaturanga and your back bend, and we'll all meet in downward dog in your own time. Yeah, there's no hurry. From your down dog, let's float the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, stepping it forward between the hands. High lunge, extending those arms all the way up. Again, making it nice and strong, firming up those glutes, hugging that belly in, firming as much as we can. Start to bend the elbows. Hands come to the small of our back. Reaching them all the way up. Keep them extended as you can. If you can, lean forward, lift the back leg up, Warrior 3. And drop that right hip down to square them to the mat. And from here, hands come to the hips. Yeah, bring that right knee in. And then lean forward. Yeah, lift the chest. And lower. As we lift the chest, come all the way up to stand, grabbing hold of the right ankle. Again, either the outside or the inside. Firm up the belly, reaching the left arm up. Start to kick the foot into the hand, dipping forward into our dancer's pose. 2 more breaths. Gently letting that go. Find our chair pose, last chair pose of the day. Yay! Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, separate, hop the feet back. Finding your chaturanga. Inhaling into our back bend. And exhaling, downward dog. From our down dog, let's float the right leg up to the sky and step it between the hands, finding Warrior 2. So as that back heel comes down, the left toes do point to the side of your mat. Press that right knee open to firm up our glutes. Now, if you feel like you've got a big back bend, we're not trying to break the internet. Tuck your tailbone back under. On your next inhale, we flip the right palm to the sky, reach it up and back, reverse warrior. Exhaling, forearm to thigh, side angle pose. Reach that left arm overhead. Yeah, so we want that left shoulder to be right by the ear if you can. And let's flow through those twice more. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Last time, inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. As we come into our warrior two, yeah, start to straighten your front leg. Reach those right fingertips forward, shifting the hips back. Triangle pose, right hand to shin, left arm up to the sky. There we go. Actively firming up the thighs on both legs. Maybe you think about leaning your shoulders back ever so slightly. One more breath. Good. Now bring that left hand onto your hip. Start to bend into the right knee. Reach the hand forward as we lift the back leg up. Maybe float the top arm to the sky for our half moon pose. Now notice if your toes are starting to turn more and more counterclockwise. Now if you'd like, you can find our Tapasana. Getting into that left knee, grabbing onto the ankle, and if you do, press the hips forward once again. Last breath in. Gently step back into our warrior two. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, windmill the hands down to the mat. Yeah. Now we're gonna reach that right leg all the way up and back. On the exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, reach it up. Now start to bend the knee, stack the hip on top of the left. So if you look under your left armpit, we should be able to see our toes hanging out. Inhale, straighten the leg back. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale and up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Last time, straighten it back. Knee to left elbow, pause, and then extend that leg straight out to the left. So the closer to in line with the hands, the more challenging. But if you like, float those left fingertips up, fall in triangle. And then the hand comes back to the mat. Reach that right leg up and back. Bend the knee, stack the hip. You can pause here or flip your dog. Bring those toes to the mat behind your left leg. Open the hips to the sky. Reach those right fingertips forward. With control, we find our plank pose. Lowering through chaturanga. Inhaling back bend. Exhaling down dog or child's pose. 6 breaths here. It's nice actually being able to see everybody's faces. Now I know, like, okay, we should stop. Yeah, so in between water, deep breaths in. Also, I miss seeing your faces. Makes me happy. Makes me warm on the inside. Yeah. If you are in child's pose, let's start to find our downward dog. All right, we still have another side. So as you are ready, we inhale the left leg up to the sky and step it forward between your hands, warrior two. So again, we take our time here. We didn't talk about the foot alignment, so shame on me. But we want to think about a straight line from that front heel to either the back arch or the back heel. As we bend deeply, press that left knee open, tuck your tailbone under. And then we'll start to dance our warrior once again. Flip the left palm to the sky, reach it up and back, reverse warrior. Exhaling, forearm to thigh, right arm overhead, side angle pose. Twice more, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhaling into your side angle. Last time, inhaling up and back. Exhale, side angle. Coming into our warrior two. Start to straighten the front leg. Reach the fingers forward, hips back. Triangle pose. Now firm up your thighs again, trying to lift your kneecaps, and yet pressing the big toe knuckles down into the mat. One more breath here. Finding our half moon pose. Left hand forward as we lift the right leg. We work a lot on the big meaty parts of our glutes. Well, here we should feel this on the outer hip, working on some of those smaller glute muscles to make them not so small. If you want to try to Chapasana, bend into the right knee, grab hold of the ankle, and just as before, kick the foot into the ankle, open the hips. And then gently release it as we step back gracefully into our warrior two. Nice deep inhale here. On your exhale, we windmill the hands down to the mat on the inside of the foot. Once you're ready, we float the left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to right elbow, cross the body. Inhale, lift it. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Twice, once more, inhale, straighten. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Inhaling up. Bend the knees, stack the hips. We reach back. Knee to right elbow, pause, and then kick the foot straight out to the right. Try to square your hips to the ground for a moment, and then, if you like, float those right fingers up to the sky. Lift the hips, strong in the shoulder. Hand comes back to the mat. Inhaling the leg all the way up and back. Bend the knees, stack the hip, or flip your dog, letting those toes touch the ground. Open the hips to the sky, reaching your fingertips forward. Finding our plank pose as we lower through Chaturanga. Inhaling back bend. Exhaling child's pose. Okay. Sitting those hips back onto the heels. Reaching the arms out long in front of us. There we go. With our heads so close to the mat, maybe you can close the eyes and listen to the breath as it bounces off the mat. Allowing us to recenter our minds. Know that sometimes as we get through flows that may challenge us a little bit, our minds start to go haywire, like what the AT double hockey sticks is he trying to make me do right now? So we focus on the length of the inhale and the exhale. Last two breaths. Alrighty, and start to come all the way up. You can kneel for a moment. All right, here is our user's choice. Users? Practitioner's choice, there we go. All right, so we want to take one more round, or actually two more rounds of our back bends, but one more type of back bend. So we have three options that I'll present. The first one is a camel pose, either with the hands on the hips or on the heels. The second option looks just like that, but we're on our back for our bridge pose. The third option is our full wheel pose. So, by show of hands, who would like to go into the camel pose? I'm sorry, I can't see you on the camera. Camel pose? Okay. Bridge pose? Can we start something like graduate? Yeah, definitely. I want to have an idea of what people want to work towards, and then full wheel pose. Okay. All right. So, if you're taking your, let's all start in bridge pose, and then the second round will be your choice. All righty. So, as we lower down onto our back. Feet are flat on the mat, just close enough to your hips to touch with your fingertips. As you are ready, before you lift your back up, tuck your tailbone under, firming up your belly like we did at the beginning of class. And then lift those hips all the way up to the sky. You're welcome to keep your arms on the mat, or you can interlace your fingers, pressing those knuckles towards the heels as we walk those shoulder blades under. Not only finding engagement in our glutes, but also in those hamstrings. Dig those heels into the mat. 2 more breaths in bridge pose. And if your hands are interlaced, letting them go, slowly lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Once your hips touch the mat, arch your back, and then lower it down. And if you like, you can give your knees a little hug, gently rock from side to side, whatever you'd like. Alrighty then. So, where this is going to be a graduated approach. If you are coming into your camel pose, go ahead and come up to kneeling. If you're coming into the other two, just hang tight. You get a little break for a moment. Yay. All right. So our hands are going to touch our butts. We've been talking about them so much that we got to touch it now. Fingers point down. Hug those elbows back, opening the chest. Yeah. We lift up as high as we can, gently leaning the shoulders back. Feel free to stay here or place one hand down onto the heel and then the other. Hold that for about 6 breaths and then gently come out of it. If you're coming into your wheel pose or if you're coming into bridge, go ahead and take it. If you're coming into wheel, find bridge first. Hands onto the mat. Press to your head to reset your hand. And then once you're ready, extend the arms, trying to press your chest towards the back of your mat. There we go. If you're in your camel, press those hips forward. And then walk your hands back up to your glutes, coming all the way up. And then sit the hips back and down onto the heels. If you are in your wheel pose, go ahead and come down. Bridge pose, come on down as well. All right, that was exciting. Let's come to find a seated position. Reach those legs out nice and long in front of us. Has everyone gotten their fill of back bends for the day? Anyone need any more? No? I'm here to please. All right. So we'll start off with the seated forward fold. I will warn you up front that this forward fold is not going to be as big as they normally are. So if your hamstrings are normally tight, go ahead and bend them a little bit. And then we inhale the arms all the way up to the sky, lifting up. And as we exhale, fold over those legs. Let the hands fall wherever they may. And using every exhalation to find a little bit more softness in our body. On your next inhalation, we start to find a flat back, coming all the way up to seated. All right. Starting to bend into the right knee now. We're going to let it open out wide for our Janu Sirsasana, sole of the foot in the inner left thigh. We turn our shoulders towards that left foot. Inhale, sitting up tall. And as we exhale, fold over the left leg. Using just the muscles in our bodies to press that right knee down. Dropping the right shoulder down so the shoulders are square to the mat. Back to the idea of deep inhalation and long exhalation. 3 breaths here. And then we start to find a nice flat back, coming all the way back up to seated. We'll cross that right foot over the left thigh. You have the option either keep that left leg out long or you can bend into the knee. But if you do, this right hip needs to come back down onto the ground. So if that's not happening, that's okay. Straighten the leg back out. Right hand comes behind us, helping us sit up tall. Left hand either hugs the knee or the arm comes outside of the knee for a twist. So every inhale, sitting up a little bit taller. And every exhale, we twist a little bit further, maybe looking over your back shoulder. Checking out our friends in the back. Hi. One more breath here. On your next inhale, we come all the way through center. If you have one leg straight right now, just hang out for a second. If your legs look like mine, bring those hands over to the left side. Lift your hips up. We're gonna spin all the way around until we're facing forward again. Yay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and extend that right leg out long. We're not doing anything with it, just a fun transition. All right, so left foot in the inner right thigh. Turn those shoulders towards the right foot. We inhale tall, exhale fold. So by pressing down that left knee, we start to get into two of those muscles that tend to give us a little bit of back pain. So the top part of the psoas that attaches to the spine, as well as what's called the QL, the quadratus lumborum, also does the same thing, but it's a little bit smaller. We just want to give it a little love. Last 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, start to find a flat back, coming all the way upright, crossing that left foot over the right. Again, option to bend into the knee as long as that left hip comes back down onto the ground. The left hand comes behind us. Either hug the knee or slide the right elbow to the outside of the knee. And again, these twists, with the exception of the recline when they're active, so every inhale, try to grow a little taller. Every exhale, imagine wringing out a rag, twisting a little bit further. One more breath here. We inhale back through center. If you have that double cross, the full twist, let's try the twist the other way. So hands over to the right. Pivot on the balls of your feet until we face front again. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and bend into both knees now. Soles of the feet together like a little book. Knees open wide. So right now, they're a little bit closer, about a foot away from your groin. You can grab onto the feet, just try not to pull up on the toes, but we take a nice deep inhale, sitting tall. And as we exhale, lean forward, flat back first. And then once you've gone as far as feels comfortable, if you like, then you can allow the head to hang. Still trying to invite a sense of softness into our bodies. Last breath here. Find that long, flat back as we come all the way up. We'll do that one more time, but walk your feet out about a foot. Random trivia note, my feet are exactly a feet. And my name is Edward, like King Edward. All right, one more time. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, forward fold. Taking 3 more breaths here. Finding that flat back, pull those shoulders down and back as we come all the way up to seated. And one more time, straighten those legs out long, flexing the toes back towards your face, and then we'll see if we can gain a little bit more space this time. So if you like, let's reach the arms up to the sky. On the exhale, reach as far forward as you can, and then let the hands rest wherever they fall. Hopefully this one feels a little bit more restorative than the first one did. One more breath here. Find that flat back, coming all the way up to seated. We'll start to bend into the knees. Feet are flat on the ground, sitting up nice and tall. And then we can reach the fingertips out long, shoulders are back and down. Start to hollow out your belly, round your chin in, and then come all the way back up, open the chest. Exhale, hollow out. Last time, lift. And hollow out, gently lowering one vertebrae down at a time onto the mat. And once you are there, knees come into the chest, giving them a little hug, gently rocking from side to side. And then taking the knees wide, finding our happy baby pose. You can place the hands on the knees, or you can slide them up to the toes or the outer edges of the feet, but wherever you grab, press your tailbone down to the ground. Feel that arch of your back. A little bit of space between the ground and your lower spine. You're welcome to take whatever shifts or straightening of one leg, whatever feels right in your body. Then we bring the feet together down onto the ground. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee, pressing that knee out wide. Flex those toes back towards your knees. You can stay here or grab hold of the right thigh or shin. We're going to find a stretch on the outer left hip. So keep using that left arm to press the knee wide. Allowing the head and the shoulders to relax down, making this all about the hips. Last breath here. Gently letting that go, and we'll take that on the other side. Crossing the right ankle over the left knee. Pressing that knee wide, flex those right toes back towards your knee, what we call dorsiflexion, towards the front of your body. And then if you like, grab hold of the left leg, either the thigh or the shin. Three breaths left. And gently letting that go. Let's open the arms out into a T. We're going to scoot the hips to the left side of your mat, letting the knees fall to the right, just as we did at the beginning. But if there's any other twist that you'd prefer to take, you are more than welcome and highly encouraged to take it. Once you found your twist, relax the thighs, relax those hip muscles, letting the shoulders be heavy. Last 3 breaths in our twist, letting gravity do all the work for us. If your legs are crossed, go ahead and uncross them as we bring our knees back into center. And then we scoot our hips over to the right side of your mat, letting the knees fall to the left towards the baseball cages. There you go. And again, once you found that place that feels good, allow the body to surrender into it. Two more breaths on this side. All right, and then again, carefully coming back into center. Now this time, bring both knees in your chest. You're gonna roll all the way onto your right side. So we're in a little fetal position. I'll come over on that side, but we're gonna take that right arm. All right, while we are on our right side, we take that right arm straight up to the sky and then grab hold of the forearm. We worked a lot on opening the front of the shoulders. This is giving us a chance to open the backside of the shoulder for 3 more breaths. And we gently let that go, rolling over onto the left side. Taking that same thing, that bottom arm, the left arm pointed up to the sky, grabbing hold of either whatever's within reach. Just working to find that stretch on the backside of that shoulder. Final 2 breaths. And as we let that go, coming onto our back. And one last time, bring those knees into the chest. Giving them a nice big hug, squeezing everything into the tightest little ball that you can. Flexing every muscle in the body that you can find as we take one final deep inhalation, holding it in for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. The arms and legs out long, finding our Shavasana. If there's anything touching you, just feel free to slide it off to the side. And once we found ourselves in that comfortable position in our corpse pose, if you prefer to look up at the sky, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we allow the eyes to close, allowing the breath to become easy and unlabored. And then we'll start to tune into the body, finding relaxation and softness, starting at the toes, relaxing the soles of the feet and the ankles. Letting go of any effort in the calves as we soften all those muscles around our thighs, in and around the hips. Noticing a softness of our lower back as we relax the mid and the upper back. Noticing that gentle, unlabored rise and fall of the belly and or the chest. As we relax all the fingers on the hands, as well as the palms and the wrists. Letting that release travel up our arms so the shoulders are heavy as though they're melting down into the ground. As we relax our throat, relaxing the jaw. Letting the tongue flow freely in the mouth. Finally smoothing out the wrinkles across the bridge of the nose, across the brow and the forehead. Finding our bodies completely at ease. Whether your focus is on your breath, on your body, or on the sounds of nature around us. Our goal is not to guide our thoughts, to force them in one direction or the other, rather to watch them flow by. Watching our awareness pass by like clouds in the sky. We see, we observe, but ultimately without holding on, we let it go, waiting for the next thought to pass by. And while we remain here in stillness, we begin to scan the body from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, noticing how does my body feel in this moment. From the body, we begin to tune into the mind, noticing how do I feel mentally in this moment. And then asking ourselves, how do I feel emotionally in this moment? Now we take everything that we found inside of ourselves and we remind ourselves there's no right or wrong answer. Whatever we found, it is there momentarily. So letting go of any judgment, any expectations of what we think should be, or any attachments of what we currently are experiencing. It's allowing ourselves to notice the beauty in this moment. And now we slowly start to bring movement back into our fingers and toes, circling through the wrists and the ankles. And on the inhale, reaching the arms and legs nice and long for a big stretch. Exhaling the knees into the chest as we roll onto our right side, pausing in our fetal position. Giving yourselves an opportunity to find some words of affirmation, of encouragement. Find something positive that you can give yourself in this moment. What do you need to hear? to motivate you to continue on. Whatever you just gave yourself, that is yours and yours alone. But now we'll slowly start to press up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like in your body. You can keep the eyes closed or gently look down the tip of the nose. But as we sit up nice and tall, if you're willing to amuse me or indulge me, turning the corners of your mouth slightly upright into a smile. If we can start it on the outside, eventually it seeps in and our bodies will start to change, and believe that as well. Thank you all so very much for coming in this morning, sharing your time, your patience, and energy with me and each other. Namaste. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Christine will be back next week. Yeah, so exciting. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to let me know. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing flex and stretch, which is it's half yoga and half I guess you would call it other exercise. So it's a nice little blend. We go through some flows and then work on some of the movements that we don't generally do in yoga to kind of keep balance in our body, get the heart rate up a little bit. But that one is on the one that's here at the park is Thursday at 5:30.
Hey girls, how are you?
Hey Terry. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Thanks, Ed.
No, thank you all.
Thank
Thank you all for coming in.
Fantastic.
Oh, we're glad you enjoy. Hope you feel a little bit better.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome.
That was really good.
Well, I really appreciate y'all coming. I know it's a little awkward sometimes being on the video while we're teaching a live class, so thank you all for bearing with us.
Yep,
That was
thanks.
good. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank
Have a
you
good
all.
day,
Have a
guys.
You got too.
Bye.
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 Bye, Julie.
Bye, sweetie. Bye, Terry.